What do you finally feel up here? On the summit, only joy can reign. You rejoice at the world, which proves so beautiful when seen from above. You rejoice at the people whom you meet here with their true nature, pure, powerful, and in harmony with themselves. You rejoice at the cosmic laws that create a wonderful, just, and meaningful order. You experience again the instinctive, blissful certainty of childhood. Everything that happens to you is exactly what you deserve, or what you need in order to proceed. You feel the joy of being which lives in the heart and is independent of the external circumstances. Up here, you assume joy as a spiritual attitude which you can oppose to the attacks of chaos. You suspect how wonderful it would be to be able to maintain this attitude in the midst of the storms of the world. You feel free from all sorrows. From this higher point of view, you recognize how vain and small the everyday problems, sufferings, and affairs are which torment you down on earth. The entire earthly existence must be comprehended from the level of the higher world. You are dwelling above the storms in the valley, in a state of serenity, tranquility, and inner peace. Earthly cares are like stones rolling down a mountain. The lower down they roll, the more violent the impact of the landslide. Would it not be better to ascend to the very summit, where there are no falling stones? Upward striving also transforms our attitude toward earthly cares. Even though they continue, their meaning is altered. Thus one may perceive how many advantages the summit has over the canyon. You rejoice at the immeasurable possibilities that each day offers to your spirit for unlimited growth. You feel indomitable strength within you. Based on it, you are even looking forward with joy to continue to struggle with the obstacles and difficulties of everyday life, which is waiting for you down below in the valley. All of a sudden you realize whether you are happy or sad is your responsibility alone. You must not blame the external circumstances or other people. You realize that happiness and suffering are not objective facts. They are states of your own consciousness. It is entirely up to you. It is completely in your power to establish one or the other state. Therefore, the popular wisdom says, "He who does not carry heaven in his own heart will not be able to find it anywhere else." Suffering does not come from without. It results from nothing else but your own negative thoughts. You can defeat it if you manage to find, as here on the mountain peak, a basis for positive, joyful thinking. This is possible down in the valley as well, even in the most terrible circumstances. If you can follow me so far, you are on the way to that true wisdom which lives in the heart and goes far beyond intellectual knowledge. For it is said, "Joy is a special wisdom when joy keeps its glow even under the most difficult circumstances, the Agni Yogi is filled with impregnable strength. One of the most important paragraphs of Agni Yoga on the subject of elevation runs: when through the tatters of your temporary bodies shines the splendor of your spirit, are you not filled with strength and joy? Then I am near to you. To put it more simply, you feel yourself, how you are elevated and full of power and joy, and how the forces of heaven are near you when the spirit, your eternal individuality, awakens to its life, finds expression, and radiates from your perishable body. You have elevated yourself. If possible, you would never give up this wonderful feeling of purity, power, and joy of being. Learn to enjoy and to love this sublime state of consciousness and prefer it to everything else. One of the most important teachings of Agni Yoga is: it does not matter whether you physically or spiritually climb a mountain peak, or visit a concert hall, a cathedral, or another holy place. The effect is the same in both cases. No routine practices or exercises are needed. Only thought can elevate man. The state of elevation is a spiritual reality. We can achieve this state by making a long, expensive and time-consuming physical journey to the Alps or to the Himalayas, and by physically climbing a mountain peak for hours. Or we can reach the same state much easier by stopping for a moment of rest, closing our eyes, and taking our spirit to the summit in a moment. You feel as pure, superior, peaceful, powerful, and joyful, in a word, as exalted after a meditation like this as after a physical mountain tour. Just as from the mountain peak you return from the meditation with new spiritual forces to everyday life and are now better able to cope with its challenges. The spiritual path has the advantage that you do not have to wait for the weekend or for holidays. You can attain this splendid, elevated state of mind not only every day, but several times in the course of a day. The effect of a physical ascent fades away quickly in everyday life. The effect of a spiritual ascent can be renewed every hour. For those of you who have already progressed in Agni Yoga, or generally on the spiritual path, we offer two advanced versions of the exercise elevation. First, place yourself in spirit on a mountain peak where there is a temple. Now you not only climb a summit, but visit a sanctuary in order to detach yourself for a moment from the world and to uplift yourself spiritually, perhaps in order to pray or to meditate. Secondly, you can go even further. You can imagine that there stands on the mountain top the ashram in which your teacher lives. Then you visit him in spirit. Through one moment in his presence alone, your spirit is elevated, namely purified, comforted, nourished, and strengthened. A spiritual disciple will practice elevation as follows. He will regularly visit his teacher in his abode in order to learn from him, to practice under his guidance, and to receive tasks and assignments from him. You know, there at the seat of your spiritual father, in the presence of your spiritual brothers and sisters, the other disciples of this teacher, is your true eternal home. From there you came when you were born. There you will return after the death of your body. Nothing is more beautiful and more fruitful than to call in up there regularly during material earthly life. Let us continue the exercise elevation. What else do you feel on the mountain top? Down in the valley, you are inclined to consider only that as real what you can see and touch. Up here, you sense your soul. In this holy place, remote from earthly life, far above the oppressive burdens of your material existence, your higher self awakens to its life. It is your soul that is elevated, not the body. You recognize your soul as a spiritual being has far greater possibilities than the body, which is limited to the material. An infinite potential that you do not nearly make use of in full. When at night there appears over the summit the starry sky with its billions of suns, whose light has traveled millions of years to reach you, you sense the eternity. You feel you yourself are a part of this eternity. You, your higher self, are eternal and thus immortal. You do not feel small any longer, but great, for your soul, when it realizes its potential and begins to grow, is on the way to God. If we recall the sensation of standing on a rock before a phenomenon of nature, does not the heart contract from rapture? After this stage, the sensation of embracing boundlessness will be realized. You feel as an eternal being, you are a cosmic giant, indestructible, inviolable, and invincible, and thus fearless, completely free, and full of dignity. You feel, up here, you are close to heaven, physically and spiritually. You experience with a certainty beyond all reason, they really exist, these higher powers that protect, warn, teach, guide, comfort, and strengthen you. You know there is no insurmountable barrier between them and you. There is a way to get in touch with them. Use the potential of your spiritual being and open your inner senses, your heart. You are already now receiving strength, consolation, and knowledge from above. When a traveler stands on a summit, does he not feel that his body is being raised, as if he were a unifier of worlds? You perceive a soul not only within yourself, but also in everything else that surrounds you. You feel one with nature, with all the other creatures, plants, animals, and human beings, yeah, even with the whole universe. You feel that everything around you is animated with the same divine spark that you are carrying within yourself. On the summit, every selfish desire disappears. You feel you must not and cannot separate yourself from the other souls. Up here, there is no thought of striving for your personal benefit to the detriment of others. Up here, you love all fellow human beings and all other creatures as well.